Pete Buttigieg is one of the best articulators of the Democrat message, constantly utilizing facts and data to shut down MAGA talking points and narratives, which, while a distant choice, has single-handedly put him in the race for VP, whom I would personally love to see him get chosen over Shapiro myself. I mean, anyone but Shapiro, please. But he went on Fox recently to further dismantle talking points, and I've got a few of these clips pulled for us to go over and analyze.
The false message of the RNC was that this is leading to an increase in crime.
Well,
and I think it's really important that we talk about
have
crime.
Been very high profile about people. If they had not been in this country
cases,
illegally,
this is my
people
point,
would still
right?
be alive.
Trying to make people think that crime is up when crime is down under Joe Biden and crime was up under Donald Trump. Now, I don't know how often that gets reported on this network, so if you're watching this at home, do yourself a favor and look up the data.
Well, we invite that.
Great. So if you look this up at home, you will know that crime went down under Biden and crime went up under Trump, and I think the violent crime for sure. So I think the really important thing to ask is, why would America want to go back to the higher crime that we experienced under Donald Trump?
Now, because we aren't Fox and our show is based around showing the data and explaining it, I will show the numbers here. Violent crime, to Trump's credit, did drop until 2020, where it then massively spiked under Trump and has steadily dropped under Biden since he took office to now be lower than it ever was under Trump at any point. While all crime, the overall crime rate began spiking in 2019 under Trump, so a little different when you add in property crimes and all these other kinds. And it continued into 2020, where Biden slowed the trend in his first year and saw a 100% change in terms of a drop of 2020, where the crime rate was 0 per 100,000. That is the largest or lowest number, whichever way you want to look at it, largest percent, lowest number since 2003, over 2 decades. And it's now at near 50-year lows under Biden. So if crime is such this hotbed big issue that Republicans want to pander to, why in the hell would they trust a man who saw the crime rate grow 2 years consecutively, saw violent crimes massively spike, before the man who has seen consistent declines across the board the entirety of his presidency?
He didn't keep his promise of 6% economic growth. He didn't keep his promise to drain the swamp.
He did have a pandemic to deal with.
But even before the pandemic, America went into a manufacturing recession, which really hurt places like where I come from in the industrial Midwest. But anyway, my point is, he broke his promise for that kind of economic growth. He broke his promise to pass an infrastructure bill, right? He said he would do that. He failed to do it. The Biden-Harris administration got it done. He even broke his promise to that January 6th mob when he said, "I will be at your side when you march down to the Capitol." But he actually did keep 2 promises. He kept his promise to destroy the right to choose in this country, and he kept his promise on tax cuts for the rich. And if you want to know what a second Trump term would be like, I would start by looking at those rare promises that he actually managed to keep.
He did say that he wanted to get rid of Roe v. Wade, but again, send it to the states where they are hashing this out
empower the states to eliminate women's access to abortion.
Trump fell massively short of the economic gains that he promised while he was in office. He ran America like one of his bankrupted businesses, because we did indeed hit a manufacturing recession in 2019, well before COVID, sending rural areas that rely on manufacturing into peril, hurting many working class families, the same working class families he hopes to appeal to. Biden dwarfs Trump in this, in manufacturing jobs created and in economic growth, as Trump promised infrastructure that would bring more of these jobs, and he failed to deliver that at every single turn where Biden did deliver it, and he showed no other wherewithal of how to create these jobs elsewise. And if we look at average GDP growth, where again Trump promised 6%, with and without COVID, Biden dwarfs Trump in both of those as well. Not only did Trump fall well short of 6% like he promised, but his non-COVID growth is an entire point percentage below Biden's, and with COVID, it's less than half of what it was under Biden's, showing that he couldn't handle a strong economy and definitely couldn't handle one with the bare minimum of problems. If you look at him compared to Obama, he never once toppled the high of Obama's GDP, and he struggled to even beat his second best year, except for doing it one time and one time only.
Most Americans already agree with her on the issues that they care about the most, that affect them the most, whether we're talking about choice and her stance on defending a woman's right to choose versus Donald Trump, who eliminated a right to choose in this country.
Well, he sent it back to the states, to be fair.
Let's be very clear. He is proud of the fact that he demolished the national right to choose in this country, period.
But there are states that are figuring this out. I mean, there are some that are, I mean, it's nearly impossible, a 6-week ban or less. But there are others, there are states in this country that allow no restrictions up until the due date of a child.
There was a national right to choose in this country, law of the land, for 50 years, which the vast majority of Americans believe was the right thing to do.
This argument is moot. It's like saying that presidents before Lincoln didn't support slavery because the states had the right to choose. We had a national right for women, and Trump single-handedly took that away. It's pretty simple. Something the majority of men and women in this country believe should be legal in most cases, by the way. And the overturning of Roe is something that most people of all demographics, types, builds, colors also strongly disagree with. Trump went against the will of the people for partisan gain and for sheer control of women, and it's something that his party had to deal with their massive losses in the 2022 elections, their massive losses in the 23 special elections, losing across the board on ballot referendums when it was on the ticket, and he himself will now have to answer to this in the general come November.